second guest tonight. He's the guiding force behind the Initiative CD. He was in a band with last week's guest, Peter Rector. Peter, of course, from the super Toll Puddle Martyrs. Well, they were also, Peter and Joe were together in the 80s in a group called The Secrets. That's not all Joe has done. He has a CD called 1,000 Miles, came out a few years ago, and I thought tonight we would spotlight just Joe and his music. So Joe Mandica talking about his CD 1,000 Miles and a few other things. So direct from Australia, our second guest, Joe Mandica. And in just a couple of minutes, everybody, we're going to be speaking with Joe Mandica. And I am happy to call Joe a mate or a mite. There you go, Joe. There's my Australian accent, best I can do. Joe Mandica, definitely a mite of mine. Okay, guys, it is time for Mr. Joe Mandica. And everybody, what a pleasure. Once again, I cannot get enough of talking to our good friend Joe Mandica. You guys know him from the Initiative CD, and last week he was on with Peter Rector. But I think it's time, this is my decision now, and Joe is such a humble guy and a sharing guy, but I want to just have Joe on. I love everyone else, but Joe has done a fantastic other CD called 1,000 Miles, and I thought it would be a good time for Joe and I to speak about that and some of the other projects he's working on. Joe, welcome back.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
It's always a pleasure, and I'm so glad that you have introduced us to your music and to, like I said, last week, Peter Rector, the Toll Puddle Martyr music. It's so fantastic. And I wanted to speak with you tonight because this CD that you have, besides the Initiative, and we'll get to that later on as well, 1,000 Miles. We've chosen 5 songs we're going to share, but why don't you give a little background to the CD first, and then we'll listen to some great music from it.
Yeah, Steve, 1,000 Miles CD. It was the CD that I finally made after 1,000 gigs or something, just doing covers all the time. All my friends were making CDs in the bands that I was playing with, all the musos, all putting out CDs and of original music. And someone said, well, when are you going to do it? And I said, why do it? It's hard enough getting heard as it is. But I think, once I did the first song, I really fell in love with the process. And the first song was Look Into My Eyes. And after that, it was I was totally hooked. I just wanted to write more, and I found that my writing got better, and my production and my arrangements got better, and so I'm hooked now. I love it. So it took a long time for me to get that going. I've done a few original things many years ago, but nothing to that extreme. And I'm very proud of the 10 songs on that album. Yeah.
And I said this the very first time you were on, Joe. You were on with Grace Marino, and I said of the Initiative CD, I said there's not a clunker in it, and you said what's a clunker?
What's a clunker?
A clunker is a not good song, and again, there are no clunkers in 1,000 Miles for sure.
We all know what a clunker is, Steve. We now use that word quite a lot. Okay. When we speak with,
make sure you use something. It correctly.
Well, there's a clunker,
Okay, good. Joe, I loved. First of all, when I spoke with your daughter Natalie and her husband Zachary Wilkes, they're 2 great people. They were on a couple of weeks ago, and I could tell just from speaking with Natalie how much. Obviously, she loves you, and so does Zach. And on this 1,000 Miles CD. You dedicate the song I Just Can't Wait to your beautiful children, in your words, your beautiful children, quote unquote, Natalie and Matthew.
Sometimes there are no words to say. I ask why things turned out this way. Some days I feel so blue, then I think of you. I just can't wait to hold you. I just can't wait to see your smile.
Beautiful song, Joe, from 1,000 Miles CD. On the CD, you play, my goodness, guitar. Why don't you tell us the instruments you play? I know what you play, but I think people would rather hear it from you.
Yeah, on the CD, I play all the guitars, bass guitar as well. I do piano on a couple of tracks. I don't drum. Drumming's done by my long life buddy Vince Medafri. He plays drums on most of the songs actually all the songs on 1,000 Miles, plus Initiative, some of the tracks as well. We're lifelong musical friends, and he's my drummer. He's my musical partner too. What else do I play? Harmonies, lead vocals. Yeah, I do a bit of that as well. The only other players on the album, Darryl Roberts played harmonica, which was great, and Andrew Burns played keyboards. My son played a guitar solo on a song called Looking for a Girl, and my daughter sang some harmonies on a song called Sometimes. And that was it, yeah.
I kind of went past it too quickly, Joe. I loved the line from I Just Can't Wait. Each day I wonder what you do. Each night I say a prayer for you. I guess that's a parent's thoughts forever, right? No matter how old your kids are going to get, you're always going to be worrying about them. And
always. Yeah. I mean, but the way the world is, we just pray all the time that everyone's safe and happy and well. Doesn't matter because they're adults now that you still don't worry about them. No.
Yeah. Well, anyway, as with all of your music, Joe, it never ceased to amaze me. You communicate your thoughts so well, and universal thoughts that so many of us can relate to. It's such a testament to your talent, and that's why I just love having and talking to you and listening to your music.
Wear my heart on my sleeve. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's obvious and it's appreciated by all of us. Again, everyone was speaking with the great Joe Mandica. No, stop laughing, Joe. I mean, goodness, after listening
It's been interviewed by the great Steve Ludwig, by the way.
Now, that's laughable. But, I think, Joe, I'm going to run down these songs because there's so much good music, and then we're going to talk about the Initiative and other projects. But let's stick with the 1,000 Miles for a while because it's just another example of the Joe Mandica sound that is just fantastic. Next song I want to listen to, and between you and I, Joe, we came up with a consensus of songs, but we chose 5, and there are 10 winners, no clunkers. So the next one we're going to listen to is "My Heart Belongs." One of my favorite lines is, I'm feeling good because my heart's beating just the way it should. Again, tell us about My Heart Belongs. And
My Heart Belongs.
I'm sorry, I'm a great interviewer, Joe. I keep interrupting you, but it starts the CD off. And can you tell us also, how do you choose which song begins a CD?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, first of all, My Heart Belongs was written a long, long time ago. I was probably in my teens, maybe 18, 19, 17, I can't remember exactly, but one of the first songs I tried to write, and I had a bit of help from a gentleman named Greg Heenan, who was the bass guitarist in the band called The Secrets, which we played with Peter Rector, as we mentioned last week. And he helped me out on that song in the middle section. I didn't know quite how to complete it, but it was a line that started that I'm feeling good. Yeah, that line you just mentioned, and then it just went from there. And it was always quite a catchy sort of, look, very Beatle-ish type of thing. I'm a big Beatle head, and I wanted to write a song like the Beatles, and that was one of the ones that I thought that I was able to to do. But I resurrected it many years later for the album, and the reason why it's the opening track is because it starts off with that drumming, that really hit you between the eyes type, let's have a party type thing, One of the brighter songs in the albums. I mean, a lot of the songs are the stories and they're sad songs, but that's a nice, big, bright, happy opening to the album, so that's why it got number 1 spot.
Let's check it out right now on vocals, guitars, bass, Joe Mandica with My Heart Belongs.
Know that you could be loved by nobody else but me. When I hold you close, you'll see. Don't ever leave me all alone. feel the same. I'm waiting for the chance to show that I need you. My heart belongs to only you. And there's no reason why we have to be alone. Girl, you'll never know until I take you home, darling. Don't ever leave me all alone, 'cause I need you. My heart belongs to only you. And there's no reason why we have to be alone. Girl, you'll never know until I take you home, darling. Now that I know how you feel, won't you come and stay with me? 'Cause our time has just begun. Our love will keep on going strong. While my heart belongs to only, my heart belongs to only, my heart belongs to only you.
My heart belongs. And, Joe, in my other life, I teach. I'm an English teacher, and we teach writing. And we always teach our students to, opening paragraph, grab the reader. And the opening song on the CD does that to the listener. And I can see how a CD is kind of like a book. Your songs are your chapters, and the CD is the book. And I see what you mean about which first song should open the CD.
Exactly. I read somewhere that the English music producers of the 60s, all the bands with the Kinks and those guys, when they used to make those records, those singles, because singles were more important than albums, the first 10 or 15 seconds had to grab you. Otherwise, it was not deemed suitable for radio or to be a hit. So something like You Really Got Me had to have that, and that was it. You were gone.
Oh.
So I often think, if I'm going to try and grab someone's attention, I better make it good in the first at least 20 seconds of the song.
Right? Yep.
So they can stick around for the rest.
Yeah. Isn't it? We'll look into my eyes in a second as well. But with things being downloaded now, do you think it takes away from how an artist like yourself would think of an album, like as a whole piece? Do you think, maybe not yourself, but singers, songwriters now just think of in terms of singles, and it doesn't, like, the album concept itself is kind of lost?
Well, I guess it's a 50-50 answer, if you know what I mean. In many ways, yes, but there's still a lot of artists out there who are making good albums, and with as you know, with vinyl, etc. You've got to put a product out with a sleeve and photographs and information and what makes up an album, and there's still a lot of people really interested in that. I think that the other part of it is that, someone's sitting around the table and have you heard this song, and out comes the phone from your pocket, and within seconds you have the song. You download it. So that's another way of getting that song, and it doesn't seem that anyone else really wants to know about anything else from that artist except for that particular song. But I still believe that, a lot of people like albums and play albums as a total. I hope so anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you personally, kids, I hate to sound like my parents, but you don't know what you're missing. Buy whole albums. Don't download single songs anymore. But anyway, we mentioned the Beatles. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Joe.
Yes.
We mentioned the Beatles. Next song that I'd like us to share with everyone is Look Into My Eyes. And the opening, Joe, I don't know if it was intended, but it reminded me of I Am the Walrus a little bit.
Yeah, no, it was not intended.
Okay.
But when you mentioned it, as we were chatting the other day, I thought, yes, it certainly is like I Am the Walrus, that intro. But no, I've never thought of that with that song, and I'm influenced totally by these guys. And no, that was just subconscious, I guess. But yeah, that's the intro.
Yeah. Tell us about Look Into My Eyes.
Okay, Look Into My Eyes. That's probably the one that started it all. The first time I went into the studio to actually record an original song was Look Into My Eyes back with Where Did All the Good Times Go. They were the first two songs that I completed to the point where I wanted to go and record. Myself and Vince said, we're going to the studio, we'll record these songs, and if we don't come up with a good sound, we're going to scrap them. We're just going to get rid of them. We were happy with the result, and that prompted us to do the rest of the album. The song itself is a positive song. I mean, I've written a lot of sad songs. I went through a lot of sad things in my life, and I wrote about sad stories, which have turned out to be great songs as well. But I remember my kids were around, and they wanted to hear some songs that I'd written, and my younger son was bopping along with the songs I'd written, but my daughter said, I don't want to hear any more, Dad. They're all too sad. And it hit me like you wouldn't believe. She's right. I'm writing about sad things, but I'm not totally miserable. So I wrote about things I believe in, like the lyrics, I believe in love, I believe dreams can come true. I started to write those notes down, and it turned out to be it's one of my. If someone said to me, "What's you think was one of your best songs?" I love that song because of the melody, the guitar solo. The night before the studio, I prayed to Mr. George Harrison. I said, "Send me a solo like what you would play," because I know people say you can sing the Beatles guitar solos as well. You know, it doesn't get to a song in a Beatles song where you just ignore the instrumental bit. I wanted something like that. So look, the whole thing itself is a very proud moment for me, and it's the one that kicked off all this music that we've been talking about over the shows in the last few weeks.
I think it's a perfect time to listen to it, Joe. Look Into My Eyes, Mr. Joe Mandica. Enjoy, everyone.
Believe in love. I believe that dreams can come true. You don't have to understand it. You know you can't demand it till it's real. Till it's real. I believe in you. I believe that we can be two. I know I can't demand it, but you gotta understand the way I feel. The way I feel. When you're standing in the corner, try not to look into my eyes again. Don't you know it's then I realize it's you, and no one else will do for me. Can't you see? What's your name? I wanna call it, and make you look into my eyes again. Don't you know there's nothing to disguise with you? 'Cause no one else will do for me. Can't you see? Sometimes I need someone before I fall apart. Sometimes I need someone to help me mend my heart. I need someone to help me mend my heart. When you're standing in the corner, I try not to look into my eyes again. Don't you know it's then I realize it's you, and no one else will do for me. Can't you see? What's your name? I wanna call it, and make you look into my eyes again. Don't you know there's nothing to disguise with you? There's no
You know, Joe, when I was growing up listening to the Beatles, I was accused by my older brother of reading too much into a song. And a line from this song as well, not only I Am the Walrus, it reminded me of I Am the Walrus, but there's a line in this song, "What's your name? I want to call it." And to me, that reminded me of a Beatles song called "I Call Your Name." Am I reading too much into that as well?
You are.
Okay, good.
No, love that song. No connection to that song. But yeah.
Well, however, I am going to segue. When Marty Penrose and his daughter Taylor were on a few weeks ago, he told me that you met Ringo Starr.
I did meet Ringo Starr in February of 2012, just last year, a year ago. Yeah.
Tell us how that came about.
Yeah, well, Ringo came to Australia with his all-star band, which was fantastic. If you haven't seen Ringo at the Ryman, check it out. It's just brilliant. He hadn't been out here, basically. He'd been out here for some talk shows, I think Parkinson over the years, but no tour since the Beatles, no musical concert. And he was playing at Festival Hall, which is where the Beatles played in Melbourne all those years ago. And my friend Paul Kritikos, who plays bass on the Initiative album, called me and said, "Joe, we're going to go to the concert." Yep. So we got the tickets. So he's doing some appearances at a gallery called the Silver K Gallery. Ringo does these very sort of obscure type paintings. And he sells them for charity. All the money goes to charity. And Paul said, if we apparently go and purchase one of his paintings, there's a promise that we can have a photo and a quick hello with Ringo. And he said to me, "Joe, what's the chances of this happening again? Of him coming out again and should we do it?" And I ummed and ahed. I said, "Well, had a look at his paintings," and I didn't think too much of them really, but they were going to be signed, and it was an opportunity. So we said, "Yep, let's do it." So we headed down there to the Silver K Gallery, and there was a few hundred people there. And we lined up, and his band was there. Steve Lukather from Toto and Greg Rowley from Santana. All those guys were all there, and we waited patiently, and we got closer to we're in a queue, so everyone was going through, and all the Beatle maniacs were there with their T-shirts.
Well, your fellow Beatle maniacs.
Yes, all lining up, and I purposely, consciously during the day, just a quick story, decided, what am I going to wear when I go and see, when meet Ringo? I mean, if I turn up with a Beatle T-shirt, I thought he might just say, "Here's another one of them,"
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to wear an Elvis Presley T-shirt, young Elvis from the 50s. So I know Ringo's a big Elvis fan. They all were, And just had the Sun Sessions on my T-shirt and wore my hat and jacket, and we lined up, and we got very close, and his manager was jumping around saying, "Look, how many more people? He's getting tired, he's getting hungry." And we thought, "Oh no, don't jump! He's gonna take off." And
we're getting cranky, Ringo.
Well, we were just around. We're only two people away, and we got there. We looked around the corner. There he was. There was Ringo. I couldn't believe it. He's not very tall. He's a little guy, and he looked just like, he looked like, even though he didn't look like Ringo in Help, his whole actions and mannerism was just like from that movie. He just, "Hey, hi," and he was all bubbly and didn't look like he was hungry or cranky at all. Yeah. And he brought us into the photo, and he myself and my partner Morella was there, and Paul and his brother Stanley. He pushed it all into, he put his arms around us, and we had these couple of photos taken, and he looked at me in his shirt, and he said, "Hey, who's that there?" And I was, trying to speak, but nothing would come out. And before I could say anything, he said to me, "Hey, the King." And that was a great moment. And he pointed to it and touched the Elvis's face on the T-shirt. And again, I was speechless. And we had the photo taken. It was only for a couple of minutes we were there, and we all just left on. "We'll see you at the concert." He goes, "Yep, see you at the concert. Thanks, guys." And that was it. It was all over. But I got a fantastic photo.
Oh
from
boy!
It. I was so pleased at the way the photo turned out. So yeah.
He touched the T-shirt. When are you going to take the T-shirt off, Joe?
I still got it on.
Exactly. On the show tonight, Joe, we also have an author, Jim Birkenstadt, and he wrote a book about when Jimmy Nicol subbed for Ringo in Australia. The name of his book is The Beatle Who Vanished. Do you remember anything? I don't even know your age, Joe, but in lore, do you remember hearing about Jimmy Nicol playing parts of Australia? And
I know the whole story about it. I mean, I'll tell you the truth. I was in 1964. That's the year I was born, in April, and they toured in June '64. My sister got
no.
Yes, my sister was married. on that weekend. My older sister Melina got married, and they couldn't afford a honeymoon, but they went into the city to go just for a day out, because that's all they could afford at the time. And they couldn't work out why there was thousands and thousands of people lining the streets of Melbourne. And it was all because this band, the Beatles, was coming down from the airport down to the Southern Cross Hotel. So, and also that was when Ringo rejoined the band in Melbourne. So it was just hysteria, because Jimmy Nicol actually played, I think, Adelaide and Sydney and all the other places. But that's what I know about it. And Jimmy Nicol, of course, he filled in for the date. They gave him a watch or something as a present, and never heard of him again.
Yeah, thanks. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. It's an amazing story, really. I read the book that Jim Birkenstadt wrote. If you ever get a chance, Joe, I highly recommend it.
I'm going to read that book.
And
your book too, Steve, if I can just mention. I had a look at the preview. I'm going to order that very soon. What an amazing story that you've got to tell.
Oh, well, thanks. Don't order it, Joe. I want to send you a copy. I never wanted to push it on anyone, but absolutely. I'll
wonderful. I'd love that. Thank you.
We're going to get back to 1,000 Miles.
I'll make sure you sign it as well. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I wanted to. We're going to get back to 1,000 Miles, but I want to ask you what's next for the Initiative project. I know Grace Marino has, or you were going to make an official video.
Yes.
What's the latest with the Initiative, I guess, is what I'm trying to poorly ask.
All right. Well, Steve, look, the Initiative, it's still a fresh album. We believe it's still got plenty of life in it. And
absolutely.
The people that have heard it, here and over there and everywhere else, it's unanimous. They love it. We need more people to hear it. We're trying our very best to get it exposed, and we're looking for distributors, anybody that's got any vision with this music, whether it's movies, whether it's radio, TV, anything at all. Obviously, I'm putting out a statement here, but it's a very hard industry, as I mentioned before. We'll keep plugging it. We keep pushing it. So we've the CD itself has only really reached a handful of people worldwide, but it's been a positive result. And to quote Colonel Tom Parker from Elvis Presley's manager, when he saw Elvis in front of 6 screaming girls on the back of a truck, stopped and said, if he can do that to 6 girls, what about if I put him in front of 6 million? Well, we believe that if this music is heard by the masses, we believe that this genre and that age group that appreciates good pop music as what it is, I think it's got a place somewhere. So we really need help from everybody to get it going, because it's such a hard industry to break through. But we're going all the time. We went into production last Friday. Grace Marino's song "Survive," the opening track of the album. We decided to make I guess what we still call a film clip, a video clip, a music video of Grace performing that song. And you mentioned on your show, I think during Grace's interview, that you could picture that on Broadway.
Yes, absolutely.
And you've influenced a little bit here, Steve, because we always thought, definitely that could be a song list. So we've gone to a theatre in Melbourne called the Athenaeum Theatre, which is the oldest theatre in Melbourne. It's a very old, Royal Albert Hall type theatre. If you can imagine it, Carnegie Hall, I guess, over there. We filmed Grace singing that song in that theatre with a little bit of a storyline, which I won't give away, but
no.
It was.
I can definitely see that. Yeah. Wow.
So I think this afternoon sometime we get to see a rough cut of the clip, and hopefully we'll have it ready to broadcast soon. But that's happening as well, and the DVD of the launch. Well,
the release party.
Yeah, it was made for our purposes, but it's available. We're going to put all the clips up on YouTube too. Steve, did you enjoy it yourself?
Guys, I mean, when Joe puts it up on YouTube, it was what a fun show. Every song from the Initiative, everyone was performed at this release party, and Joe sent me a DVD. He also sent one for our mutual friend Evan Ginsberg as well. It's marvelous, Joe. It was so much fun, and I could tell that everyone on stage, you guys were just so into it. And it's nice to see. I see the pictures of the people from the Initiative, but to see them actually perform the songs, it is great. And check it out on YouTube, everybody. Once Joe's going to put them up little by little here.
Yeah, definitely.
What I was going to say about the Initiative too, Joe, is that the music is timeless, and like you said, you need to get the word out there, but it's not like it's a newspaper, and the topicality is going to run out. I mean, you write of universal themes that will live forever. So whenever people get into it soon, everyone. But it's a timeless piece of music, and the Initiative is something that really everyone, you have to get into. How can they get it, by the way, Joe?
Well, they can get it via iTunes or Amazon online for downloads, as we mentioned. If you want a physical copy, we're on Facebook, Initiative JM on Facebook, or myself, Joe Mandica, on Facebook, all through your page, Steve, I guess. And I'm happy to accommodate.
And of course, everyone, Joe Mandica is Mandica. Just as it sounds. And Joe, I think if people can't figure it out, Joe, I don't know if they should be listening to music anyway. But seriously, folks, back to 1,000 Miles. We mentioned Right Here Inside My Heart, a nice country feel to this song, Joe. And these lyrics are so cool. Take back the words that you have stolen and try to mend a broken heart. Boy, talk about the lyrics are just, as always, Joe Mandica lyrics are so beautiful. What can you tell us more about Right Inside My Heart?
Right Inside My Heart. Yeah, look, the comment you made, the line you picked, that's been pointed out to me several times. It's a funny line. Take back the words that you have stolen. Does it actually make sense? Is it correct in the English dictionary? I'm not sure, but it just makes sense when people hear it. It's like, I think I saw Paul McCartney saying on Hey Jude, the movement you need is on your shoulder. And him saying to John, don't worry, I'll fix that line. And John said, no, you won't. I know exactly what you mean. And I tend to have a tendency, not specifically to copy that at all, but I tend to say it in a way that it almost sounds like it's back to front, but it actually makes sense. I think in Natalie and Zach's song, there's another line like that. I'm just trying to think of the line order is where it's similar to that. But I find there's a lot of that. Fortunato's song, Try Again. If I could try the tears that make you want to cry, it's sort of like it's back to front. You cry first, and then you try the tears. But that's the kind of thing that seems to come out of the way that I write it. So I think it makes it a bit interesting. Yeah. Right Here Inside My Heart. Yeah, we recorded it. It's got a country feel to it. That got a lot of notice when it came out. A lot of people said they can relate to that song in many ways. I'm very proud of it as well. Love the steel guitar on it. So, what can I say? One of my favourites. And also recorded by Marty Penrose. I think you played it on your program.
He did,
And also recorded by Fortunato on his album. He's done a version with Italian lyrics that his father translated. So the song's getting a bit of.
And Joe, we're going to listen to the song in a second, but I always... is it Fortunato? Have I always been pronouncing it wrong, or am I just Americanizing it? Fortunato. I always hear Fortunato, so that's how he pronounced it. So
that's the best way. Fortunato.
Fortunato. I apologize.
Italian would be Fortunato. That's the way I answer the phone when he rings me. But most of the time it becomes Fortunato because it looks like the word fortune.
Well, I've been New Jerseying it up. That's why I've been saying Fortunato. Yeah.
We just call him Nato for short, okay?
All right, Nato. Sounds good. And let's listen to Right Here Inside My Heart.
This time I really think it's over. This time I think we've gone too far. You did not keep the love I gave you, the love that I had made for you, straight from my heart. Hate to say our dream is over. I can't believe it fell apart. And to this day I don't know why you didn't want to try make a brand new start. If I could only make you see I'm not the one who used to hurt you every day. If I could find a way to show this time it's gonna be for real. Back the words that you have stolen and try to mend a broken heart. We laugh, we cry, but those are gone. You always will remain right here inside my heart. If I words that you have stolen. Try to mend a broken heart. We laughed, we cried, and though you've gone, you always will remain right here inside my heart. Even though you've gone, you always will remain right here inside my heart.
I wish we could play all 10 songs, Joe, but I want people to buy the CD too and experience it. 1,000 Miles available on iTunes, like you said. Did you say CD Baby? I'm very sorry, Joe.
No, it's available on iTunes, Amazon,
Right.
and of course, write to me. I'm happy to send you a copy.
Right. Yep. Before we listen to the last song we're going to listen to for tonight, it was such a pleasure to speak to you and Peter last week. Has Peter mentioned? I can't believe I didn't ask him this last week. Has he mentioned anything to you, Joe, about another a Toll Puddle Barters CD coming out, a new one, or is he writing?
Well,
you know anything?
Yeah, Peter's always on the go. Peter's always writing, and I know he's got a couple of new songs happening. The last album, Flying in the Dark, didn't come out very long ago, so he's probably due for another album soon. But Peter's always writing, and he's just very prolific. A lot of information there. So I'm sure there'll be a new CD soon.
Yeah, if you missed last week's show, everybody, please check it out on the archives. Joe and Peter, great segment. And if you love garage band music, Toll Puddle Barters, Peter Rector's the man to listen to. All right, Joe, here I go again, reading into things. But we're going to listen to a song called Looking for a Girl.
Yes.
Some phrases. Building like a buttercup, will she drive a Mustang, or will it be a brown-eyed girl? Tell me I'm not reading into this. Are these song girls purposely mentioned by you?
Okay, Steve, you got me. Yes, you've hit the nail on it. You've worked it out. Yes, they're all
You can't
songs.
fool me, Joe.
Okay, what can I tell you? A friend of mine, Daryl Roberts from Hey Gringo, the keyboard player in my covers band, wrote a song on his album where he used some of the songs that he grew up listening to from Rubber Soul, etc. And I thought it was a great idea. What I'd done in that song was, with the verses, was songs that I actually performed when I do covers. We'd always do Brown Eyed Girl, we always do Mustang Sally, we always do Build Me Up Buttercup, and I just thought, how much fun would it be to just refer to all those songs, and that's basically how I come up with all those lines in that song. There's a few others there as well. So a bit of musical trivia, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And before we listen to Looking for a Girl, Joe, I want to thank you so very much for once again coming on. And I hope we can do this again many times in the future. There's so much more. Once the videos start coming out on YouTube, let us know, and would love to have you back on. And just please, let's stay in touch. Yep. And I know we'll be in touch via Facebook, but I mean for my listeners as well on the show. Again, everyone, Joe Mandica, 1,000 Miles. Check our links page. We have links to all the things we've been talking about here. And the Initiative CD, my goodness, everybody, you have to pick that up. It's great, as well as 1,000 Miles. And Joe, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, all the great music you've shared with me and all the great stories. And I look forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you very much for everything. We'll talk again soon.
We will definitely talk again soon. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Okay.
Bye now.
Bye.
Looking for a girl in this whole wide world. Looking here and looking there, but I can't seem to find a girl. looking for